It's time for
DodgerHeads.
high fly ball into right field. Hey, Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads Unplugged with Scotty G. Happy Monday morning, chat. Welcome in, everybody. It's great to see you. A fun weekend of baseball. Not really. Fun Sunday of baseball. I had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. Yoshinobu Yamamoto flirted with absolute perfection, flirted with a no-no. Man, wish he would have got that thing. Don't want to talk about it. DodgerHeads is, we've digested that. We've broken it down. I know you fans have too. Everybody, what a weekend. What a weekend. But it's great to see you all. We've got a great show lined up today. Appreciate you joining in. Do us a favor, quick housekeeping stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's the race to 100K on the Dodger Blue 1958 channel. If you would like to consume media in print form, please check out DodgerBlue.com. We've got a lot of incredible stuff coming out there. A ton of great stories, breakdowns in the coming weeks. And a lot of great current stuff here. Dodgers return home against the Colorado Rockies. So important series. And I know our crew does a bang up job, and they're going to keep putting stuff out here all week. We're going to have, Blake, Matt at the stadium there, getting all these great interviews. But thank you for joining the most honest Dodgers independent media. So we appreciate you. You're the best. Shout out to the early day ones, tier one people in the chat early on. Amanda, what a weekend. Foxy, good to see you. Good morning, chat. Eden, hello all. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Craig, what's up, buddy? I appreciate you always joining in. Shelly, I'm here to feel better about the Dodgers, even if it's hopium. And B, hey, my guest. I've got a special one. One of the dogs. He's been 3-time champ, joining DodgerHeads Unplugged so far. So he's been a beast. I can't speak for him. He'll answer this, but Shelly, I spoke last week about how I didn't think it could get any lower, and then it did, and then they let me down again. And usually I can come on here and I can break down the bad stuff. I can go along with chat, frustrations, absolutely, and that's all well and good. Criticism has to be given out, and harsh critique has to be given out when it's there, and that's the beauty of sports. You can't always cupcake these players. You have to talk about the failures just as much as you talk about the success. But we know what the bottom out type of thing is. Good to see you. But when it comes to where are the silver linings as they hold on to this first place, they are going to barrel into the playoffs. And now we keep getting closer to this spot where they're going to get these players back. And that's who we're talking, we're talking about today. We're talking about the injury returner guys. But I want to welcome him in here. We're going to roll into it. Anthony Witrado, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Scotty G? How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. It's good to see you. Happy Monday to you. Give me the thoughts from the weekend. Say what's up to the chat. Chat, say what's up to Ant.
What's going on, everybody?
And break all that down for me. How was the weekend?
The weekend was about as painful a regular season weekend, I think, as we've had in a long time as Dodger fans. Saturday was excruciating because it felt like everybody was coming together around this historic event that was on its way to happening. And with the context of where the team sits, that kind of win, it's more than just they won 6-4, Shohei hit a homer. Everything was good. Got a good pitching performance. Fine, let's move on. This was sort of that galvanizing moment where everyone's standing on the top step. The trainers are out in the dugout. Nobody's in the clubhouse. They're all watching Yamamoto try to do that thing. And a win like that would have changed the vibes 180 degrees in the clubhouse. And I know we got reports and people said, it was down after that, but the next day it was okay. And that may be well and good. But I tell you, the vibes would have been totally different on Sunday had that thing actually went down, had it happened. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, yeah, go ahead, keep going.
so to not only have that lost, but to lose the game, and to lose the game the way they did, about as rock bottom as I can remember. And maybe Sunday was the start of a run here. Like, I mean, I know we keep saying that, but you got to hope, right? But yeah, I mean, the weekend was just a gut punch, and like a Mike Tyson gut punch.
And it certainly did feel that way. I mean, I'm not going to act like I was watching the game. I would have missed history. I was at the Savannah Bananas game down in San Diego there, wishing nothing but the worst. So you guys know that. A good buddy of mine, his brother plays for the Bananas. So shout out to Dan Obers. He's a beast. What a guy. But I was watching, and I was flabbergasted at the stuff that was unfolding. I genuinely, and in chat, I could not believe that. I was watching on Gamecast, and I was blown away. I was blown away. Yamamoto looked disgusting all the way through the ninth. Don't need to break that down any further. I'm sure there was a lot, but that kind of felt like his moment, and I'm heartbroken for him. But I won't act like it's the only time he's ever going to have that. So he's going to have more opportunities to do it. Just like Clayton Kershaw stuff. He flirted with those perfection and no hitter so many times. I mean, Yamamoto will have another opportunity to get that. It's just, I agree with you on the vibe check. That would have done wonders for where they were at. It's like when they needed a stopper, it doesn't have to be Clayton Kershaw, who ended up playing the stopper yesterday. But Yamamoto going out there and turning the tide would have been humongous for the morale. It would have, going forward, can you agree that there probably will always be, until he shows, bulk innings, there will be questions about how much workload Yamamoto can have? Because that's what I still think people question.
Yeah, I think there will be questions. Are they fair? Maybe, maybe not. I think if he gets through one more season the way he has this one, then I think those questions, he deserves to have those questions
Behind
roll
him.
off his back then. Because he had always been a durable guy in Japan. Now he pitches on the once a week schedule there, which the Dodgers have tried to replicate here. At some point in his career, right, he's going to be more of a guy who gets closer to 30 starts a season. And if he can do that with no problem, I mean, this year, I think he's going to get close to that, right? He's going to be in the high 20s. I don't know how many he's made this season, but I can't recall him missing one yet. So, I think that he's going to deserve to not have that moniker tied to him, just because of, where he's from is essentially the only reason why that exists. Because I think he's proven not only can he handle the workload, but he can handle it at an ace type of level.
Yeah. Norm, we're not, nobody's crying about Saturday. We're just breaking it down. I hadn't had a chance to talk about it yet. It says we feel like we're clinging to misery. Nah, man, we're not doing that. I just wanted to chat about Yamamoto. Just want to, get the thoughts out there. Leads me to this next thing. We're going to go to this right here. After yesterday and with Clayton Kershaw continuing this, Yamamoto shoving on Saturday, and they're at this point here. So the Dodgers are, as it stands, I've got record here. So we are 15 games over, 1 game lead on the NL West. An implosion, a resurgence, an implosion again, multiple times over. And, on this next run, I was speaking to a couple people about this, and it's a good question to have. And it's something, chat, you even can chime in big time on this. And Laura, you as well. The Dodgers have been battle tested for a few years now, and it's stuff that I really like to highlight. I'm not shy about it. When the Dodgers have this level of play, right, and they're superstar players, that, and you believe that they can rise to the occasion. Are the Dodgers this year? Do they have enough to show you that they have been battle tested? Whether it's this year or last, you can speak to both. Or have we yet to see what this 2025 Dodgers team will do when it comes to crunch time? I'm kind of in the middle a little bit. That's why I've been holding out for Max Muncy, Tommy Edman to get that regular lineup. Kind of, where do you fall on this, Ant?
Yeah, I think that in terms of the question on the screen, I kept wanting to believe that they had been battle tested already, and that they would come out of it, but they haven't come out of it full on. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that still worries me a little bit. These guys coming in, they're going to help, obviously, right? We discussed this on last night's show with Jeff, but how much do they actually help, right? Vesia is going to be a big piece for the bullpen just because, the way bullpens are built and one guy can make a bigger impact.
Yeah.
In the lineup, Muncy, let's assume Muncy is Muncy and he's fine. Okay, that's one guy. Now, Edman, he starts to create this carousel of Conforto, Kike, Kim, Rojas, right? And where those guys get playing time going forward. So I think there's a help there in that just if Edman can be league average, it's going to be better than what they've been getting from some other guys longer term.
Yeah.
Is it enough to get them out of the woes that we've seen now for 3 months or so?
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the part that's yet to be seen. And that's the part where, that this question that you have on the screen comes into play. Like, are they battle tested, or are they a team that even as these guys come back, we're still going to see the same kinds of struggles?
Yeah, and chat, chime in on, and if I need to put up a prompt on the screen, if you're listening after the fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, however you consume your media for us, thank you for doing that. Leave me in the comment section just so I can get a kind of a pulse there. 1 to 10, how confident? All things equal, chat. Don't go based on, and it's hard to think in a vacuum to this question. 1 to 10, what's kind of your confidence level here? If, has this Dodgers team been battle tested enough that when push comes to shove, take into account what they've done against teams above 500. Don't take into also take into account what they do against lesser opponents, but you have to acknowledge that they've played well against good teams. They just have, and the pitching has been consistent. So take all those things. 1 to 10, where do you kind of fall in, chat, on is this Dodgers team battle tested or remains to be seen? And I think Foxy puts it up here at a 5. It's kind of right in the middle. It remains to be seen. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that probably straight towards the lower end of that, might go a little bit below it just because of how bad. But with what I've seen in the past, I believe that the records against good teams, that stuff matters, and pitching matters. So I'm going to say this is right here. I'm with Eden. I'm at a 7. I'm at a 7. I know the low lights have been terrible. When it's been bad, it's been bad. But I don't know the Los Angeles Dodgers to be an uncharacteristic team. I really don't. I'm not there yet. I won't flat out won't be. With the caliber of players that they currently have, I'm going to say I'm at a 7. I'm not saying they're going to win all the time, but I'm going to say they've done enough when it comes to having the pedigree on the team. These guys know how to flip that switch, and I do think that's a thing when the lights are bright against good teams. But that last little bit that keeps me from being top end 10 has been the bullpen. But I think that the offense has enough that they're battle tested. They can wear down a pitcher. They just haven't maybe 1 or 2 hits. And that's kind of all I've seen. It's been that one thing. Starting pitching, I think, can compete. It's the bullpen that keeps me away from being flat out locked in on them 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I would say I'm a 6. And a lot of that 6 is being carried by the health and performance of this starting rotation. I keep saying it on our streams. I said it last night again. If they take this rotation healthy into October, it's the best pitching in the game.
Yeah.
Literally, it is. And I think you can even make a case that the pitching staff as a whole, including the bullpen, is right up there at the top. And so that assumes that Scott and Yates and some of these other untrustworthy guys at the moment aren't necessarily closing out games. But I think the thing that keeps me at a 6 and not higher is that this rotation has continued to give them this great performance since they've all been healthy, since like Glasnow and Snell came back. They've been that rotation, and they're still an under 500 club right now. And so when does that urgency kick in and they decide that, okay, you know what, it's probably time to flip the switch now and not just on October 1st.
Yeah, that's great points. All yeah, spot on, buddy. Yeah, you're right there. I really enjoyed that. And we're seeing a lot of, comments all around the board. 4.5 is probably the lowest that I've seen. And it's understandable. Like, you can feel however you want. You could sell me on any level of this based on how this up and down stretch has been. Absolutely. You are entitled for it. But the thing that remains consistent is the talent on paper. It's just a matter of having the the light, the light to flip it on and go in that moment. And I think that's big. And I just, that's why I remain consistent in believing that, Teoscar Hernandez, for how bad he's been, that he's been there, done that. It's that I've seen it. It's that we've seen it. And like, we've seen these guys do it in the playoffs, top 4 in the order for a few years now. The new guys, Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez, for their down years, we've seen it. We've seen them exploit a big matchup. And I think that's kind of, whether that's cope or whether that's just that when we understand the playoffs matters most, and that when it's that series from a 162 gets shrunk down to a 5, a 3, a 5, or a 7-game set, the game planning and the focus, that stuff, I think it's maybe it's spoiled thinking, but if you can just get there, we've seen these guys who are role players. Teoscar, not so much. He's an everyday guy, but Tommy Edman, like role players. The Dodgers have consistently done that for a few years now. And I think that's just kind of what keeps me going, that it doesn't matter what they've done this last little bit here. Like, they look borderline like a non-playoff team.
Yeah.
But if they get enough to just get themselves there and position the starting pitching, I think they've got it.
Yeah. I think one thing I'm going to be looking at this week, and I'll be in San Francisco for that series. But one thing I'm looking at starting tonight is, one, can they win the series? Obviously, but it almost feels like, coming off of what they did last time against Colorado, like this has to be a sweep. And if it's not, this is going to sound maybe a little off kilter, but if they lose again, they got to win the series. For me to start to really feel better, they got to win the series. The game, let's say they lose one. The game they lose, if they get shut down and they lose like 4-1 against the Rockies, or they lose a game like, I don't know, 4-3 because the bullpen can't hold the lead late, I'm going to be right back to where I'm at. If that loss, and this is the part that's going to sound weird, but if the loss comes because one of these starters just kind of has a bad outing, has a blow-up inning or something like that, and let's say they lose the game 5-3 or something, and it was basically the starter took them out of it, I'm going to feel totally okay about that, because the starters are going to be totally fine. I think as long as the bullpen looks better and the offense looks competent, that's, I think, where the hopium starts to build. Mm-hmm. And for me, I can brush off a starting pitcher kind of having a bad one. They're fine. They're going to be great. It's the offense and the bullpen that scare me. And if they continue to scare me against the Rockies, I don't know what this team is. I don't know what the identity is aside from the starting pitching.
Yeah. And I need to pull up these home and road splits here real quick, because I believe the Dodgers have been 45-26 at home. And the Dodgers get the Rockies at home for 3. And on paper, looking at the starting pitchers for the Rockies, they're trotting in here. You're looking at Chase Dollander, Herman Marquez, and Kyle Freeland. All ERAs, Dollander 6.77 ERA, Marquez 6.19, and Freeland comes in with a 5.10, right? And that's just flat out. You've got, plus matchup pitching wise every single time. You should go beat up on them. It's what you have to see. At home, I'm going to fall on those things there. I think you have to sweep. You have to make a statement there. You've got to sweep this series and just keep it pushing, keep moving it on, build on that momentum there. And Charles, I want to put this comment up here. I like this a lot, because this has been one of my favorite things lately. Just don't get the opportunity to bring it up a lot. Hope is not a good plan for success. Yeah, hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy at all. And they've got to go show it there. That's why falling in the little bit of the middle. If I hadn't seen this team do it for a few years, I'd be right down the middle. But it's just that I've seen them do it, is why I remain at like a 7 out of 10 as far as like, do I believe in what they've got? Do I believe in that stuff? And that's where my hope goes into play there. But hope is not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. And I'm okay with that. It's fine to say. It's just that it just pushes me over the thing. They've got to go prove it. Got to go sweep the Rockies there, remain on, foot on the gas, because you have 2 games here. Offense couldn't do a thing more, on Saturday. Just things dice roll. Yesterday, Kershaw shoves, offense does enough, you win a ball game. But they've got to continue to stack that stuff. So I agree with you. And I'm glad, I know you agree with the sweep. That's just what you have to do. You can't give a game away. You've just got to, put that stuff through. Shelly, I'm gonna put these up real.
They put themselves into that
Yeah.
position, right, Scott, where because they had this easier schedule and they didn't get fat on the Pirates and the Rockies before and the Angels and those teams that are bad, they're now in a position where like it feels like a must sweep kind of series. You're back at home. You got all the advantages against a bad team. You have to go out and win 3 games.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally with you. And Dave here, look, set yourself up for disappointment when you expect a sweep from this team. Yeah, we joked last week about talking about against the Pirates, right? We talked about that. We were like, they're going to go get swept. What happened? Yeah, we joked about it. We said, that was a joking matter, but they went out and they got swept. They figured out a way to be, garbage enough to make it happen.
And sweeping is tough. Like we acknowledge that, right? It's why it doesn't happen all the time. There's like 2 sweeps a week across the league. But if there was ever one series that's right for it, it's right now. It's this one.
Yeah, and Matty Man puts this up here. Shelly, I got your super chat here. Again, everybody, the best way to get a hold of it is via super chat. We'll toss that right in there and direct the comments. Shelly, let me get to yours in just a second here. Matty Man says this: 19 games left. Need to go at least 12-7. In the last 10 games, the Dodgers are 3-7. 3-7. The Padres in the last 10 are 3-7. So it's a lot of this down stuff. And I don't think we're even talking about the NL West anymore. I think it's just a matter of worry about yourself. It's what I talked about after the Padres series. And we both broke this down. It was that they're done with, go play your game, we'll play ours. And we've seen both of them have had trouble after that series. Both teams have. So the Dodgers have to worry about themselves. You get, a big boost here tonight, and it's massive. Before I get into that, I'm going to toss Shelly's up here. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the support. She says, we need to win the next 3 games. Teo and Pages need to be more productive at bats. 100%. Teoscar Hernandez has been abysmal in his second season as a Dodger. He gets that contract extension there, possible 4-year deal. That's a name to keep an eye on in the offseason for sure. I'll put that bug out there now. I won't be surprised if something shifts with Teoscar Hernandez in the offseason. I won't be surprised if that's a name that if they move him, I won't be surprised, because a big name, Kyle Tucker, I've been talking about for over a year now, that I said I spoke to somebody that I trust in the industry, and they told me, before he made a move to the Cubs, that the Dodgers were going to be right at the top. Go figure, right? But that's someone I trust. So I've been believing that for a while. And if the Dodgers want to move Teoscar, I won't be surprised. But Pages has been better than advertised. His stat line there in the 5-6 has been exceptional. But yeah, productive at bats. They've got to stop going down and looking at more, productive baseball, understanding count leverage here, doing more with the opportunities given.
Yeah, Teoscar just has to be more selective. I mean, he's way too chase happy. The walk rate has been cut nearly in half from last season, and it wasn't great before. But like, if he could even get it back to that level, I think we start to see a lot more production from him, because a lot of the stuff that he's making outs on are pitches that he just shouldn't be swinging at. It's not necessarily in the zone. And I do wonder, because I'm with you, I think the Dodgers could have. I think moving on from him is potentially an option there. I do wonder how the Dodgers see it, and if they think like they can get him back to that approach that made him so successful, because he started the season okay. He was all right. Then the injury happened, and when he came back, it was a 180 from where he was before. And so I wonder if they believe that they can get him back to that other approach that made him, they thought worth that kind of deal. And that I think we all kind of, he became a fan favorite doing that last season. And this year it's sort of been the opposite. It's been the Teo, that scares you. It's the chase happy guy who doesn't walk at all.
Yes,
and when he hasn't had enough power to supplement that, then it's a bad player.
Yeah, I really, seeing him, there are some fastballs. I know he had that almost grand slam in San Diego, and that felt like it was a good swing. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Maybe the groin still bother him. Maybe he's just, somebody said he's maybe motivated by money, and that's just the Teoscar Hernandez that we get now. So I don't like believing that. I hate like when that stuff is brought up with players, especially how likable he was. And that just was, like I said, it was a 1-year flyer the Dodgers took to be an impactful player, and this is who we're getting. But he's a key piece and somebody to keep an eye on here. But we've got to bring this up. Max Muncy and Alex Vesia, we touched on this earlier in the prior segment here. Both of them are rejoining the big league roster. Kind of what is the impact? You can broad stroke this, and I'll give some data on that. Max Muncy rejoining the lineup there and Alex Vesia rejoining the bullpen. Impact of that, buddy. Like how big is this? Because we know, like looking at just insertion into the lineup, what Muncy's able to do. This is momentum shifting for them.
Max is a huge impact. We saw what happened when he dropped him back into the lineup after the knee injury. He came back and the offense totally changed. Its face changed. You know what I mean? It looked different. And he's one of those pieces that for whatever reason, he lengthens that lineup like he's three guys versus just one. And maybe it's his approach. Maybe it's to grind it out and not afraid to take walks. And when he does swing the bat, it's with malice. So maybe it's that whole makeup that makes him that kind of guy, but it's huge. And I'm curious to see how the offense responds against this team now this week and going forward. He likes to hit in San Francisco too. So this is a good week for him to come back, I think. And Vesia, I think, is a huge deal because, I mean, you don't need one full hand to count the number of guys you can trust in the bullpen currently. He comes back and he's one of those. So he's much needed as well. I think the numbers game is going to be interesting going forward with the bullpen and how that gets managed. But Vesia is a big piece to this thing.
Yeah. And I'm going to put this up here, Matty Man. Max has way more value than can be explained. His presence alone is game changing. Almost doesn't matter what he does. Yeah, it's getting those reliable pieces, Matty Man. And thanks for putting that up there. And that's something that that has to be taken note of. And shout out to the people joining in this morning. Thank you. We've got Anthony Witrado on, so thanks for him to join in. Max in AAA on this rehab assignment as advertised, and it can't be understated what Max Muncy did, prior to join or going back on the injured list. He had this injury. He was slugging 870 in 32 plate appearances. That's after he went on the injured list the first time from August 4th to August 12th here, 269 WRC plus here, man. So we're talking like a high, he 4 homers in that stretch, 9 ribs, like the most impactful piece that you could lose of model of consistency after he got glasses, figured some stuff out there. Was linchpin stuff. You put him in the heart, it's like that middle piece where it was going to bridge the gap was lost, and then everything went to hell. So that's it. Alex, we'll touch on Vesia for a sec. Alex Vesia is a very quality reliever. He's been steady for a few years now, underappreciated, could be an all-star depending on how things shake out. He's just one of those names you have no idea about, and he gets it done. Alex Vesia will be great at. But Max Muncy for the offense, that's a piece that he's going to make everybody go. The quality of at bat there is infectious. The impact when someone leaves something in the zone is momentous. He's going to punish you. And with Max Muncy there, to what Matty Man said, it can't be underspoken about. It is an absolute key piece to what the Dodgers are getting back.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let Anthony head out of here. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining. Everybody say goodbye to Anthony. If you're listening after the facts, let me know. Anthony's a dog. Chat, let Anthony know he's a beast. Just doing terrific stuff for us at DB, contributing as much as possible. He's a man. Great baseball mind. So you enjoy the rest of your Monday, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right. Later, buddy. All right. Let me get this going up here. Reset some stuff. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right. I'm going to take some questions here. I'm excited to see what Max Muncy has. I'm really excited to see what Max Muncy has, just because his at-bat quality has been so good. And I'm going to put what Matty Man said up here about his walks. Like, Max Muncy will gladly accept his walks. Like, half of the team, like Andy Pajes, for as good as he's been, stat line wise, everything like that, chasing outs. I know it's good to get swing happy sometimes and frustrate a pitcher, but when stuff's just ball out of the hand, you've got to be able to refrain. And that type of stuff, just you can see the pressing nature of different parts of the lineup. And Max Muncy's someone who just doesn't press like that. This season, he's just looking different. Once he flipped things around, he just didn't have that in him. So Max Muncy, massive piece there. Mookie Betts has been stellar. He's been terrific. Ohtani, again, we knew he was going to come out of this. Like, whatever slump he was in, it's not going to go forever. He's looking good. Freddie Freeman's model of consistency. Max Muncy coming back in. I'm excited to see what they're really doing going forward. All right, so I'm gonna take some questions here. Shelly says, "Is Muncy really healthy?" I mean, yeah, I would say so. He's probably pushing. He's probably pressing a bit to get back. Things with obliques and stuff in the abdomen is tough, but whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Max Muncy he's a ball player, man. He's one of those guys that he's dealt with injuries. Think about this, Shelly. Ask yourself this: Max Muncy has dealt with late season injuries quite a few years in a row, and I'm sure he was pissed that perhaps with the knee that could have been another one. I don't know how he made it back from that. He's probably not fully healthy. I don't think any baseball player is fully healthy start to finish. But when it comes to like, midsection injuries, abdomen injuries, obliques, all those things, you got to watch out. You got to watch out. So I'm sure he feels good, but they're going to be doing routine maintenance work on Max Muncy to make sure he's in a good position to, stay away from that injury bug. So he's got to stay in there. I don't care. He's got to stay in there. Eden says this. He goes, "What's your outlook on the 2 seed with us being 4 games back and the Phillies series coming up?" It's a huge series. I know some people, every time I talk about like seeding and stuff like that, there's always people that'll say, postseason bracket stuff. You've got to kind of forecast that and you play for the other side of the bracket. It doesn't. Who cares? It does not matter. It is what it is. It really doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna have to face good teams no matter what at one point or another. The Dodgers last year benefited from having a short, like a 5-gamer, and that's going from there, and then the 7-game. You just had the offense to withstand the pitching. But now it doesn't matter what series you match up against. You're gonna play the best teams. Like, if you go, say you're in the opposite side. So right now the Dodgers are like slated in the 3 slot, right? You get the Mets first round, who just have rookies in their starting rotation, and then an offense that's just like the Dodgers, frustrating. Ryan Helsley, since joining there, has been terrible. So there's inconsistencies everywhere. You play the Mets, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Mark Vientos. I can't believe I just said him. Yuck. But you're going to have to play whoever. And you get the Mets round 1 in the wild card round. Then you face the Phillies at, with their advantage there, with the 2nd seed. So they get the bye. You're going to have to play it wherever. The NL's stacked. You're going to have to just go through there. It'd be different if you're in the American League. But now, like, say you're on the other end. If you go play and you get the 2 seed, you're in the same slot. You're still going to have to face one of them. The only thing that changes is what? Face the Mets or the Phillies again. So it doesn't matter. You're kind of stuck in this slot here where you're either facing the Phillies, in that, 2nd round, no matter what. It doesn't matter. Dodgers, Phillies flip, doesn't matter. Does not matter. All right. But yeah, the Brewers, like, you're not going to get lined up for them. The only thing you could say is like, oh, you're going to drop out. You're going to drop out and go to the 4 slot. You don't play with that stuff. You get into the playoffs playing your best baseball. You don't take your foot off. You battle test yourself for the postseason. You don't, deploy your guys scared just so you can go lose ball games. Losing on purpose only matters when you're the 2024 Los Angeles Dodgers and you just roll the dice and strategically lose so you can go win the World Series. Dodgers aren't in that position this time, though. So sick. Shout out to Dave, man. Shout out to Dave Roberts. Strategically losing in 2024 to win a chip. What a beast. All right. Let's see. Says, Scott, your thoughts on Ohtani taking the ball on short notice and throwing absolute gas, 100 plus miles an hour, and emptying the tank in game 1. Also 2-homer game. I mean, look, he's just that type of pedigree of player. I'm sure somebody made a joke in one of our group chats, like Andrew Friedman was probably sprinting down the hallway to grab his phone to tell Dave Roberts to take him out once he saw Ohtani airing it out. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, Ohtani throwing 101, like 100 plus multiple times, just airing it out like, this is my inning. I'm getting out of here. They're giving me the hook. But yeah, do I want him to do that all the time? No, I don't want him to do that all the time. But it just shows that, like, Ohtani, he's feeling healthy. He's feeling good. And that's the best thing I could say about it. He's in a good zone. And we're in September 8th now. Yeah. Dusty says he was throwing angry. I'd be pissed too. Yeah. He's got to be mad. Ohtani wants to win. He wants to win, man. Let's see. Ian says Shohei looked tired at the end of his outing. I was very proud of him. Yeah. He's terrific. He's a talent. He's someone that fans aren't going to appreciate until this time is done. It's this I'm big on this thing right now too. You don't know when you're in the good days until you're not. So, these are the good days. These are the good times. All right. TVG. I appreciate you asking this one. Says once Edman is back in center field, Pages in right, do you see Teo platooning with Conforto in left? Conforto is the one lefty in the outfield. Well, I'd hate to tell you. How do I tell you this, TVG? How do I tell you this, buddy? If I could put my hand on your shoulder, I would tell you there is no guarantee that Pages is going to right field, nor do I think that's going to be at the top of the list because Teoscar has played exclusively right field this year. Exclusively right field. And as much as the eye test tells me I don't care about the nerd stats, I do with a lot of things, but defensive metrics are insanely flawed. And there are internal stuff that they're looking at. And, he's played only right field. We are going to see Teoscar Hernandez in right field unless Dave has a conversation with him and then the front office says, like, look, Pages is way better in right. Teoscar did not make these type of errors in left field. He did not have these blunders in left field. I don't care what anybody says that the stuff grades out the same. It did not look this bad last year. Nowhere close. Could not convince me. Could not pay me. Blake Williams could not convince me that Teoscar Hernandez is the same in right field this year as he was in left. Nobody. Not a chance. Not a nerd on the planet could do it. Nope. No way. All right. Laura says, these cannot be the good times. These are the good times, man. We could be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Stop. Don't do that. These are the good times. I'm talking about Ohtani. Ohtani being a Los Angeles Dodger. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Craig says, Call can play right now. Yeah, I mean, Dong, this too shall pass. TQT, Conforto is going to make playoff starts, guaranteed. Yeah, a couple multi-hit games. He'll be batting cleanup forever. Shout out to Don, man. The best Rams fan I know. Chat weeps. Best Rams fan I know. He was holding the flag yesterday at the 50. What a dog. Steps says, shout out. Does a sweep of the Rockies get this team back on track? It's a start. It's a start. I mean, they're at the luxury of time, the luxury of the division not being great, and the Giants being so far back that them playing good ball recently does not matter. So it's a start. It's a start for sure, and a big one too, because the Dodgers have a big series with the Philadelphia Phillies coming up. They've got to take care of business there next week. All right. I'm going to end it with a funny one. Funny comments. Karma says Goat Florida will be the 2025 World Series MVP. I think the Earth would crack in two. We would see a meteor that took out the dinosaurs hit the Earth, and that would be the last thing. We'd get back-to-back chips. Conforto hoist the World Series MVP, and we look up into the sky and we see just a blink of light, and that's it. All starts over again. That's it. Yeah. Shelly, you're very welcome. All right, chat. I appreciate you. Happy Monday. Wanted to give something light to wrap us up here. You're the best. We're building something great here on DodgerHeads Unplugged. Thank you for the continued support here. Elishiva says, how about our Miggy Rojas? Yeah. Miggy Rowe. They're going to need everybody. Tommy Edman coming soon. Telling you. Edman's arc is starting up. He's going to save the franchise. I've been tweeting it out. I believe it. He's saving the franchise. Little joke in there. Don't take it too seriously. I don't need any DMs asking me if I'm serious. He's saving the franchise, but Tommy or Max Muncy is going to be saving the franchise. Okay. You all, please enjoy the rest of your day. Do us a favor. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll talk to you soon. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. The Dodgers start up a series tonight with the Colorado Rockies here. What did we talk about last week against the Pirates? I said that I believed in the offense, and I've got to keep going on that thing. The Hopium is here. September 8th, Hopium's back. We're going through that way. Okay. All right, chat. We'll talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go Dodgers.